Okay, welcome back to another video on the Maths channel. It's your teacher, Mr. Lim here. In this video, we're going to be looking at range of probabilities. So I've got a bunch of syllabus dot points here for you to read if you would like to, but I'm not going to read it for you. So, question 1. There are 7 blue, 1 red, and 2 yellow marbles in a bag. Find the probability of blue, red, and yellow. So we can see here, because there are 7 blue out of 10 marbles, 7, 8, 9, 10, the probability of getting blue is 7 out of 10. For red, it's 1 out of 10. And for yellow, it's 2 out of 10. So, what do all the probabilities of all the possible outcomes add to? Well, the probability of blue plus the probability of red plus the probability of yellow is equal to 10 out of 10, which is 1. Question B. A coin is flipped twice. What is the sample space? So if we flip a coin twice, we could get heads first and then heads again, or heads and then tails, tails and then heads, or tails and then tails. So there are 4 elements in the sample space, or 4 outcomes. What's the probability of getting heads, tails? Well, only one of the 4 is heads, tails. In fact, all of these is 1 out of 4. So what do the probabilities of all the possible outcomes add to? Well, 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is equal to 4 out of 4, which is 1. So, what can we conclude from these 2 examples? We can conclude that the probability of event A plus the probability of event B plus all the way for all of the possible outcomes, in other words the sample space, they will add to 1. Okay? So let's have a look at some examples here. A box contains red, yellow, and blue cards. The probability of selecting a red card is 3/5, and the probability of selecting a yellow card is 1/10. What is the probability of selecting a blue card? Well, because we know that the probability of red plus the probability of yellow plus the probability of blue is going to equal to 1, okay, from what we just said up here, we can work out the probability of blue. We've got 3/5 plus 1/10 plus the probability of blue will equal to 1. And so therefore the probability of blue is equal to 1 minus 3/5 and minus 1/10 as well. So in our calculator, we're just going to do 1 minus 3/5 and we're going to minus 1/10 as well to give us 3/10. Alright, what about question B? A hat contains tickets labeled as A, B, and C. The probability of selecting A is 3/10 and the probability of B is 7 out of 15. What's the probability of selecting A? Well, that's already given to us, it's 3 out of 10. For B, it's already given to us, it's 7 out of 15. And for C, the probability of selecting a ticket with the letter D, well, there's no letter D, so we know that's 0. What's the probability of selecting tickets A, B, or C? Well, we know there's only A, B, or C, so when we add them all up, we know it's going to add to 1. And what's the probability of selecting ticket C? Well, we know that the probability of A plus the probability of B plus the probability of C is equal to 1. We know A is 3 on 10. B is 7 on 15. So we can now work out that the probability of C is 1 minus 3/10 minus 7 on 15. (7 on 30). Alright, what about question C? A bag contains black, yellow, and white cards. The probability of drawing a black card is 57%, and the probability of drawing a yellow card is 8%. What is the value of the following, expressed as a fraction in simplest form? The probability of black, well, it tells us it's 57%. But we want it as a fraction, so I'm going to write this as a fraction, 57 over 100. If you're not sure whether it's simplified or not, because the question says in simplest form, just type it in your calculator, 57%, and then press the S to T button to convert it to a fraction. The calculator will always simplify it for you. For yellow, we've got 8%. So I know that's 8 over 100. I can see they're both divisible by 4 to give me 2 over 25. Again, if you're not sure, just use your calculator. 8% equals, press the S to D button, 2 over 25. And the probability of white. Now, because there's only black, yellow, and white, we know that all three will add to 1, right? Probability of black. Oh, let's use purple. The probability of black plus the probability of yellow plus the probability of white is equal to 1. So we know black is 57%, yellow is 8%. We need to work out the probability of white, which is equal to 1 minus 57% minus 8%. Of course, if you wanted to, you can say 1 minus 57 over 100 minus 8, or 8 over 100 or 2 over 25, up to you. But I'm just going to use the percent to show you this. We can do it this way. So 1 minus 57% minus 8% is 0.35 or 35%. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, but here the question says as a fraction, so let's just press the S to D button. It's going to give us 7 out of 20. So let's just write that, 7 out of 20. Alright, question D. A card is chosen at random from some playing cards. The probability of a spade is 0.24, of a club is 0.27, and of a heart is 0.23. Find the probability of the following outcomes. So we don't need to express it as a fraction or a decimal or as a percentage in any particular one, so it's up to us, we can choose. Because all of these are decimals, I might just leave it as a decimal. So a black card. We know black cards are spades and clubs. So this is the probability of spades plus the probability of clubs. So we can see here spades 0.24, clubs is 0.27. So 0.24 plus 0.27 is 0.51. Okay. Don't just assume that is half, because half a deck is black and half a deck is red. Actually look at the question, because it might not be a fair deck of cards, okay? It might not be a normal deck of cards. So if we can see here that 0.51 or 51% of the deck is black, we can tell that red has to be 1 minus that. Okay, so we can see here the probability of red is equal to 1 minus the probability that it's black, or 1 minus 0.51, which is 0.49. Club or a heart. So we've got club or a heart as 0.27 and 0.23. So we can add them together. The probability of club plus the probability of a heart. 0.27 plus 0.23 as 0.5. A spade or a heart. Well, we know that this one here, the probability of a spade, let's do it in green, plus the probability of a heart. Spade's 0.24, heart is 0.23. which is 0.47. Okay, diamond. It doesn't say here what the probability of a diamond is, so we actually need to work this one out. We know that the probability of a spade plus the probability of a club plus the probability of a heart plus the probability of a diamond is equal to 1. And so from here, we can work out, because we know spade is 0.24, club is 0.27, heart is 0.23, we can work out that the probability of a diamond is equal to 1 minus all of those. So 1 minus 0.24, 0.27, and 0.23 to give us 0.26. What about F? Diamond or a club? So now we know what diamond is. We know that the probability of diamond plus the probability of a club is equal to 0.26 plus the club, which is 0.27. When we put that in the calculator, we'll get 0.53. Okay, question E. Last one for this video. One letter is selected at random from a word containing the letters T, A, M, P, R. It is given that the probability of T is 1/5, of A is 2/5, of M is 1/10, and of P is 1/10. Find the probability of the following outcomes. Why don't you pause the video, have a go with all of question A, B, and C, and when you're ready to check your answers, continue playing the video. Okay, so here are the answers. So for question A, the probability of T or A is 3/5. T or P is 3/10. M or P is 1/5. A, M or P is 3/5. T, A, M or P is 4/5. And the letter R is 1/5. Okay, so 1 minus all the other letters. Question B. The word contains 10 letters. From the letters T, A, M, P, R, how many of the following letters are in the word? So how many T's are there? Well, because the probability of T is 1/5, we've got 1/5 times 10, which is 2, so it's 2 T's. The probability of A is 2/5, so 2/5 times the 10 letters is 4, so there'll be 4 A's. The probability of M is 1/10, so 1/10 times 10 is just 1, so there's only 1 M. P is 1/10, so also going to be only just 1 P. And for R, because the probability of R is 1/5, 1/5 times 10 is 2, so there's going to be 2 R's. So what is the word? It's an Australian place. The word is Parramatta. Okay, so that's it for this video, right? So what did we look at? We looked at what all the probabilities of the possible outcomes add to. Okay, so when we add all of the probabilities of all the possible outcomes, they always add to 1. Okay, and that's highlighted by this formula. Okay, so when we know that fact, we can use it to work out the probabilities of some other events, some other outcome, by doing 1 minus all the other ones. And that's pretty much it. It's important to know that probability is always between 0 and 1, or 0% and 1%. Okay, it's never over 1 or over 100%. Please never give your answer as that, because it's not possible. Okay, 0 is impossible, 1 is certain. So the probability always has to be a decimal or a fraction between 0 and 1, inclusive. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you have any questions, just comment down below. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, please give it a like. And if you would like more content similar to this, then please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.